Hello my scholars, you are welcome to my school YouTube channel and my name is Frank. In today's video we shall be tackling JAMB CBT Mathematics past question for the year 2001. So relax, do not go anywhere, I'll be right back. You are welcome back to my school YouTube channel. In today's video, we shall be answering question 1 to 25. So let's begin with question 1. Evaluate 21.05347 minus 1.6324 times 0.43 to 3 decimal places. Okay, so basically to answer this question, you have to apply board maths. Okay, so in board maths, first of all, you have to deal with the multiplication first before you deal with the subtraction. Right, so you multiply these two, okay, then the result you subtract it from 21.05347, okay, and you correct your answer to 3 decimal places, meaning after the decimal point you just have 3 digits. Okay, so if you do that, at the end of the day your answer is going to be equals to 20.352. Question 2, simplify in brackets cube root of 64a cube raised to power minus 1. Okay, so according to the law of indices, raised to power minus 1 actually means 1 over whatever that minus 1 is raised to. Okay, so in this case, we'll be having 1 over the cube root of 64a raised to power 3. Okay, so if we take the cube root of 64, that will be equals to 4. And if we take the cube root of 8 raised to power 3, that will be a. Okay, so that at the end of the day, our answer becomes 1 over 4a. Okay, so that makes option D the correct answer to this question. Question 3. Given that p is equals to 1 plus root 2 and q is equals to 1 minus root 2, evaluate p square minus q square over 2pq. Okay, so let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So basically, these are what is given to us according to this question. So let's quickly look for p square and q square first. Okay, so p square will be equals to 1 plus root 2 in bracket, then 1 plus root 2 in bracket. So we'll multiply I to get our answers. Okay, so let's multiply. 1 times 1 will be 1, plus 1 times 2 will be root 2. Then root 2 times 1 will be root 2 also. Then root 2 times root 2, that will be equals to 2. Okay, so this will be equals to 3 plus 2 root 2. Right, so let's do the same thing for q square, okay, which is 1 minus root 2 in bracket, then times 1 minus root 2 all in bracket. So if we multiply out, basically these and these are the same. I think the only difference is just the sign. So at the end of the day, we are going to be having 3 minus root 2. Okay, then let's multiply. Now let's get our PQ first, okay? So let's get our PQ because we are going to use it here. So for our PQ, more or less like we are multiplying these two together, and these are just differences of 2 square. 1 is plus, 1 is minus. So in this case, we just square 1, then we square root 2 also. So if we square this, at the end of the day, we'll be having 1 minus 2, which will be equals to minus 1. Okay, so we already know PQ to be equals to minus 1. So let's put in our values. So here we'll be having 3 plus 2 root 2 in bracket minus 3 minus root 2 also in bracket over. Now from our calculation, our p times q is equals to minus 1. So here we just have 2 times minus 1. Okay, so if we continue, let's open this bracket. So now we'll be having 3 plus 2 root 2. Then this will be minus 3. Then minus 2 times minus to give us plus root 2. Okay, then all over minus 2. So here we are supposed to have 2 root 2. Okay, 2 root 2, sorry. So if we multiply out, we'll be having plus 2 root 2, right? So 3 we take out minus 3. So that if we add this together, then we'll be having 4 root 2 all over minus 2. So minus 2 here is 1, minus 2 here will give us minus 2, right? So that at the end of the day, our answer becomes minus 2 root 2. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to that problem. Okay, and I think the option that agrees with our option is option D. Okay, minus 2 root 2. Question 4. A car dealer bought a second-hand car for 250,000 naira and spent 70,000 naira refurbishing it. He then sold the car for 400,000 naira. What is the percentage gain? Okay, so yeah, basically we need to know our cost price first, and we also need to know our selling price. So from the question, our selling price is 400,000. Okay, while the cost price is going to be the cost the car dealer bought the car plus the amount he spent in refurbishing the car. Okay, so that is what will give us our cost price. So let's return to the board to provide answer to this question. So the cost price is going to be the amount the car dealer bought the car plus the 70,000 is spent in refurbishing the car. Okay, so if we add these two together, that will be equals to 320,000. Okay, 320,000 naira. So that means the cost price is 320,000 naira. And here we are asked to calculate percentage gain. So percentage profit or gain, okay, still the same, is equals to selling price minus cost price all over selling price times 100 over 1, because 100%, right? So let's put in our values. There will be having 400,000 minus 320,000 over 320,000, okay, then times 100 over 1. So if we subtract here, this will be equals to 800,000, okay, over 320,000 times 100 over 1. So these zeros, these three zeros, we take out these three zeros. This one can take this out, right? So 1 here, sorry, 8 here is 1, 8 here is 4. Okay, 4 here is 1, 4 here is 25. So that the percentage profit equals to 25%. Okay, so let's return to the screen. Okay, so from our calculation, we got the percentage profit to be equals, or the percentage gain to be equals to 25%, which make option C the correct answer to this question. Question 5. If S is equals to Y over 2, evaluate in brackets S cube over Y cube plus 1 over 2 divided by, in bracket, 1 over 2 minus S square over Y square. So let's move to the board to solve this question. Of course, there are many ways in which you can approach this question. Okay, but this is how I choose to approach this. So basically, what you have to do is just to make Y the subject of formula by simply cross multiplying. So that Y is equals to 2S. So anywhere I see Y in this expression, I'm going to replace it with 2S. Okay, so here S raised to power 3. Then here we will now be having 2S raised to power 3 plus 1 over 2, what we have in the first bracket, divided by 1 over 2 minus S raised to power 2 in bracket 2S raised to power 2. Okay, so if we open this up, we'll be having S raised to power 3 over 8 S raised to power 3 plus 1 over 2 in bracket. So let's just go straight. S raised to power 3, we cancel S raised to power 3. So that will be having 1 over 8 plus 1 over 2 divided by 1 over 2 minus, then the same thing, S, we cancel, the S square, we cancel that S square, so that will be having 1 over 4, okay, at the end of the day, because here we'll be having 2 raised to power 2 and S raised to power 2, right? So here we're having 1 over 8 plus 1 over 2. So if we solve this fraction, we'll be having 5 over 8, okay? This simple fraction, 1 over 8 plus 1 over 2 will give us 5 over 8. Why? Because the LCM of 8 and 2 is 8. 8 into 8 is 1. 8 times 1 is 1. Then plus 2 into 8 is 4. 4 times 1 is 4. Okay? So 4 plus 1 is going to give us 8. Then with the LCM being 8. Right? So we also solve this other fraction too. LCM of 2 and 4 is 4. Right? So 2 into 4 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2, then minus, then 4 into 4 is 1, 1 times 1 is 1, so 2 minus 1 is going to give us 1 over 4. So you'll be having 1 over 4, right? So this is division. So we can rewrite this to be 5 over 8, then times 4 over 1. So that 4 here is 2, and 4 here is 1. So that at the end of the day, we'll now be having 5 over 2. Okay, so let's return back to the screen so that we can pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so from our calculation, we got 5 over 2, which makes option B the correct answer to this question. Question 6. Find the principal which amounts to 5,500 at a simple interest in 5 years at 2% per annum. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. But remember that amount is equals to principal plus interest, right? So let's make principal the subject of formula here, because basically that is what we are looking for in this question. Okay, so if we make principal the subject of formula, P will now be equals to A minus I. Now remember that A here stands for amount, I here represents interest, but remember that simple interest I is equals to principal times rate times time okay, all over 100. So let's put in the values that are given to us. Interest will now be equals to our principal is but remember that our amount is 5,500. So if we replace our A with 5,500, we'll be having 5,500 minus I, all in bracket, okay, times the rate, which is 2, then times time, which is 5, all over 100. Now if we multiply these two, that will be equals to 10. Okay, so let's remove it so that here we'll be having just 10 left. So if we cross multiply, we'll be having 10I to be equals to 5,000 equals to 5,500 minus I. So we can move this I to the other side, so that we'll be having 11I to be equals to 5,500. Now, since we are looking for I, we make I the subject of formula by simply dividing both sides by 11. So that I is equals to, if we divide, we'll be having I to be equals to 500. Okay, we have I to be equals to 500. But remember that I there stands for interest. But remember that we said let our principal be what? Be P to be equals to A minus I. Okay, so if our principal is P, if our principal is equals to A minus I, now that we have calculated for the value of I, since we are looking for our principal, we just put in this value for A and I to get our principal, which is 5,500 minus 500, and that will be equals to 5,000. Okay, 5,000 naira. So the principal is actually equals to 5,000 naira. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. So from our calculation, we got the principal to be equals to 5,000 naira. Okay, so we got the principal to be equals to 5,000 naira here. So that makes option B the correct answer to this question. Question 7. Evaluate 0.14 square times 0.275 in bracket over 7 in bracket 0.02 to 3 decimal places. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So basically it's just for us to multiply out. So this is the same thing as 0.14 times 0.14 times 0.275. So 7 times 0.02, that will be equals to 0.14. So the 0.14 will cancel out, so that at the end of the day we have 0.14 times 0.275. So we're going to multiply it in such a way that we are going to pretend as if these decimal points are not there. So we just multiply 14 times 275. Okay, and if we do that, that will be equals to 3,500. Okay, that will be equals to 3,500. But remember that this is to 2 decimal places and this is to 3 decimal places. So that means we are going to put this, we are going to bring this to 5 decimal places. So from here we'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at the end of the day we'll have 0.03850, right? But in this question we are asked to take our answer to 3 decimal places. So what that means is that after this decimal point we only need just 3 digits. So we count 1, 2, 3, right? But you must check the number next to it. So the number next to it is up to 5. Round it up to 1 and add it to the previous number. So if we do that, we'll be having 0.039. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so from our calculation, we got 0.039. So that makes option A the correct answer to this question. Question 8. Divide a raised to power 3s minus 26a raised to power 2s plus 156 a raised to power s minus 216 by a raised to power 2s minus 24a raised to power x plus 108. So this is a question on polynomial, division of polynomial. Okay, so if you have any issue with this, we have video lessons where this particular topic has been properly dealt with. So you can click the link in the description below. That will take you to my school website. There you have to subscribe to our topic by topic mathematics video lesson in order to learn more about this and other topic. Okay, so let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So don't be confused because we have 2s, 3s, all those things. Okay, in some other questions sometimes you just see x or 2x or something, but irrespective of what you see here, the idea is still the same. So it's just simple syntactic division. Okay, so how do we start? First of all, divide using a raised to power 2s. So this a raised to power 2s we divide through. Okay, so a raised to power 2s, we divide a raised to power 3s first. Okay, so let's go. Now, a raised to power 2s divided by a raised to power 3s, at the end of the day, we'll be having a raised to power x. Okay, so use this a raised to power s to multiply through here and write it under everything you have here. Okay, so a times a raised to power 2s, that will give us a raised to power 3x. Okay, then a times minus 24ax, a raised to power x, that will be equals to minus 24a raised to power 2x. Okay, then a raised to power x times plus 108, that will be equals to 108 a raised to power x. Okay, so the next thing you do is to subtract, just like your usual division. Okay, so if we subtract these two, it's going to cancel out. So if we subtract here, of course the minus is going to change to plus here, so that at the end of the day we still have minus 2a raised to power 2x here. Okay, then plus, if we subtract here, 156 a raised to power x minus 108 a raised to power s, I think that will be equals to 48. Okay, that will be equals to 48 a raised to power s. Right, so the next thing again, you divide again using a raised to power 2x. Okay, so a raised to power 2s divided by minus 2a raised to power 2s. At the end of the day, you'll be having minus 2. You'll be having minus 2 2a raised to power 2s divided by a raised to power 2s. So these two will cancel out. So we'll be having minus 2. Okay, so the next thing again, you multiply this whole thing again by minus 2. So minus 2 times a raised to power 2s, that will be equals to minus 2a raised to power 2x. Minus 2 times minus 24a raised to power s, that will give us plus 48a raised to power x. Okay, then of course we are going to bring our constant down. Okay, so here we'll still be having minus 216. Okay, so minus 2 times plus 108, that will be equals to minus 216. So as usual, we subtract again. So this is going to go off, minus is going to form plus. So this will cancel out. Then plus 48 a raised to power s minus plus 48 raised to power s is going to go off again. Then minus 216 minus 216 is going to be 0. Okay, so at the end of the day, when we use this, what we have outside there to divide what we have inside there, we'll be having a raised to power x minus 2. Okay, so we call this one the divisor, and we call this one the dividend. Okay, and we call this one the quotient. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. So from our division, we got A to be the correct option, which is a raised to power x minus 2. Question 9. If two graphs y is equals to ps squared plus q and y is equals to 2s squared minus 1 intersect at x is equals to 2, find the value of p in terms of q. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So these two lines intersect. Okay, these two graphs intersect at s is equals to 2. Right, so basically what we first of all do is anywhere we see x in these two graphs, we are going to replace it with 2. Okay, so for the first one we have 4p, that equals to 4p, right? S raised to power 2, we are replacing s with 2. That means we are now having 2 raised to power 2, and that will give us 4. So 4 times 2 will give us 4p, then plus q. While for the second graph we do the same thing, we'll be having 2 times 4 minus 1. So that will be equals 8 minus 1, and that will be equals to 7. Okay, but we are told that these two graphs intersect. So if the two graphs intersect, that means we can equate the two graphs. So that we'll be having 4p plus q is equals to 7, right? But we are asked to find the value of p in terms of q. So to find the value of p in terms of q, we just move q to the other side of the equation. So that we'll be having 4p to be equals to 7 minus q, right? But we are looking for p, not 4p. So we divide both sides by the coefficient of p, which is 4. So that p is equals to 7 minus q divided by 4. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. 7 minus q over 4. So that makes option B the correct answer to this question. 7 minus q over 4. Do you know you can take practice question with our JAMB CBT past question? All you need to do is to click on the link in the description below, and that will take you to my school website. There you will have to download the My School mobile app for your Android devices, and Myschool software for your laptops and computer. Please go ahead and start practicing. Moving on to question 10. Okay, we are asked to solve the equations m squared plus n squared is equals to 29 and m plus n is equals to 7. So this is a simultaneous equation. You can as well subscribe to our mathematics video, topic by topic video lesson to learn more about simultaneous equation. Okay, so let's solve this. M squared plus n squared is equals to 29 and m plus n is equals to 7. So basically, let's call this equation 1 and we call this equation 2. So what we need to do here is just to make any of these the subject of formula. Okay, so here I decided to make m the subject of formula so that m will now become 7 minus n. So we'll go back to equation 1. Anywhere we see m, we'll replace it with n minus 7 minus n. Okay, so here I'll be having 7 minus n in place of m squared, then plus n squared is equals to 29. Okay, so we expand it, so we open our bracket. So if we open our bracket, we'll be having 49 minus 14n, then plus n squared is equals to 29. Okay, so in this equation we can form a quadratic equation from here by moving 29 to this other side of the equation, so that at the end of the day we'll be having 2n squared minus 14n, then 49 minus 29, that will be equals to 20. Okay, this will be equals to 0. So we can divide through by 10, we can divide through by 2. 2 can divide 2n squared, 2 can also divide this, 2 can as well divide this, so that will be having n squared minus 7n plus 10 is equals to 0. Okay, so here we'll simply look for two factors of 10 that if we multiply them together it should be equals to 10, and if we add them together it should be equals to minus 7n, and that will be minus 5n and minus 2n. Okay, so 2 raised to n raised to power n raised to power 2 minus 5n minus 2n plus 10 will be equals to 0. Okay, so here we can expand out, so that we'll be having n will come out, so we'll be having n minus 5, then minus, then 2 comes out in brackets, so that we'll be having n minus 5, all is equals to 0, so that the values of n will be equals to 2 and n also equals to, okay, n also is equals to 5. Right, now that we have gotten the value of 5, we can move back to equation 2 to get the value of n. Now remember the equation 2 is m plus n is equals to 7. Okay, so let's start with when n is equals to 2, right? So when n is equals to 2, we fix 2 here. In that case, m will be equals to 5. Okay, then when n is equals to 5, then if we fix n, if we fix 5 here, then we move 5 to the other side, m will be equals to 2. Okay, so we can rewrite this, let it be in this form. Okay, let it be in this form. So we started from here, so that will be 2 and 5. Then the other answer will be 5 and 2. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so that makes option B the correct answer to this question, 2 and 5 and 5 and 2. I believe you are enjoying this video content. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we release the next videos. Question 11. An operation star is defined on the set of real numbers by a star b is equals to a plus b plus 1. If the identity element is minus 1, find the inverse of the element 2 under star. So let's return to the board to solve this question. So we are going to say, let the inverse of 2 be y, right? So that 2 star y is equals to the identity element. So in this case, they said, let it be minus 1, right? So basically what we are going to do here is, anywhere we see a, we are going to replace it with 2, and anywhere we see b, we are going to replace it with y. Okay, so here a star b will now become, so here we'll be having 2 plus, okay, y plus 1 is equals to minus 1, right? So that will be having, okay, I think here should be 2 star, sorry, 2 star y should be equals to this. Okay, so that will be having, if we add these two together, that will be equals to 3. So that will be having 3 plus y is equals to minus 1, right? Here, we want to make y the subject of formula so that y is equals to minus 1 minus 3, and that is equals to minus 4, okay? So that y is equals to minus 4. So we can say that the inverse of 2, okay, under the operation star is equals to minus 4. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question, and which is option D, minus 4. Question 12. The sixth term of an AP is half of its 12th term. The first term of the AP is equal to, so let's move to the board to provide the answer to this question. So we are told that T6, which is the sixth term, is equals to 1 over 2 of the 12th term, T12, okay? But T6 is equals to A plus 5D, okay? And here, T12 is equals to A plus 11D. Of course, 1 over 2 of T12 will be A plus 11D divided by 2. Okay, so we'll just cross multiply. So that we'll be having 2A plus 10D to be equals to A plus 11D. So we calculate like 10. So A will move down to this side. So we're having A, 2A minus A is equals to 11D minus 10D. So that 2A minus A is equals to A, and 11D minus 10D is equals to D. Okay, so from here we can see that the first term is equal to the common difference. So let's return to the screen to pick the right answer to this question. So option A is 0, no. Option B is half of the common difference, no. C is equals to double the common difference, no. And D is the common difference. Okay, so from our answer, the first term of the AP is actually equal to the common difference. So that makes option D the correct answer to this question. Question 13. Factorize 4s squared minus 9y squared plus 20s plus 25. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So to solve questions such as this, sometimes it's necessary to rearrange the question. Okay, so let's say 4s squared plus 20x, then plus 25, then minus 9y squared. Okay, so we can factorize this part. So if we factorize this part, okay, we'll be having 2x plus 5 in bracket over 2x plus 5 in bracket, then minus 9y squared. Okay, so if we expand what we have here, that will return us back to what we basically have here, because 5 times 5 is going to give us 25, and 5 times 2s is going to give us 10s, and that occur twice. Okay, so that at the end of the day we're having 20x, right? So this is the same thing as say 2x plus 5 raised to power 2, then minus 9y squared. Okay, so this is basically the difference of 2 squared. So for difference of 2 squared, to expand it is very easy. To factorize it is very easy. Okay, so in this case we'll be having 2x plus 5 plus 3y in bracket, and the other side will be 2x plus 5 minus 3y in bracket. So let's rearrange this so that we'll be having 2x plus 3y plus 5 in the first bracket, and in the second bracket 2x minus 3y plus 5 in bracket. Okay, so we have succeeded in factorizing the expression that is given to us. So let's return back to the board to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so option C agrees with our answer. Okay, so that makes option C the correct answer to this question. Question 14. A sector of a circle of radius 7.2 centimeter which subtends an angle of 300 degrees at the center is used to form a cone. What is the radius of the base of the cone? Okay, so to calculate the radius of the cone, okay, to calculate the radius of the base of the cone, we simply use this formula: arrow is equals to theta times big arrow divided by 360. Okay, where arrow here stands for the radius of the base of the cone, while this big arrow stands for the radius of the circle. But remember that in this question, the radius of the circle is equal to 7.2 centimeter. So we just put in our values. So that we'll be having 300 times 7.2 divided by 360. So 0 can take out 0. 6 here is 5. 6 here is 6, right? So if we multiply and divide through, we'll be having that the radius is equal to 6 centimeter. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question, which is option B, 6 centimeter. Question 15. A point P moves such that it is equidistant from points Q and R. Find QR when PR is equals to 8 centimeter and angle PRQ is equals to 30 degrees. So let's move to the board to solve this question. I think to solve this question, it is important for us to sketch the diagram. So let's say this is the point P. So let's say this is Q and this is R. Okay, is equal to the distance between P and R. Okay, because they use the word equidistant, right? And here we are told that the angle here is 30 degrees. Okay, now this is a typical isosceles triangle, right? So if the two sides are equal, then the base angles of an isosceles triangle are also equal. So here is as well 30 degrees. Okay, but remember that the sum of angles in a triangle is equals to 180 degrees. So in that case, we'll be subtracting 60 from 180 degrees, and that will give us the third angle. So this part is 120 degrees. But we are told that the distance between P and Q is 8 centimeter. So if this side is 8 centimeter, here is also 8 centimeter, and we are looking for PQ. Okay, so to calculate for PQ, we'll simply use sine rule. Okay, so we can go P over sine P is equals to arrow over sine arrow, right? So we just put in our value. So our P is what we are looking for, we don't know, but our sine P is equals to 120. So we'll put sine 120 here, and that will be equals to, our arrow is 8 and our sine arrow, so we have sine 30 degrees here. So we simply cross multiply. So if we cross multiply, we're having P sine 30 degrees to be equals to, if we multiply these two, that will be equals to 8 times sine 120 degrees. Okay, so if we divide both sides to get the value of P, we'll be having P to be equals to 8 times sine 120 degrees divided by sine 30 degrees. But remember that sine 120 degrees is equals to root 3 over 2. Okay, and sine 30 is equals to 1 over 2, which is 0.5. So let's put in our values here. So that P will be equals to 8 times root 3 all over 2 divided by 1 over 2. Okay, so 2 here is 1, 2 here is 4, right? So we still have 4 root 3 divided by 1 over 2, right? So if we change this, we'll be having 4 root 3 times 2 over 1. So that at the end of the day, we'll be having 8 root 3 centimeter. Okay, so the distance between Q and R is equals to 8 root 3 centimeter. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question, and that is option C, 8 root 3 centimeter. Question 16. A straight line makes an angle of 30 degrees with the positive S axis and cuts the Y axis at Y is equals to 5. Find the equation of the straight line. So let's return to the board to provide answer to this question. Okay, so remember that the gradient of a straight line too is also equals to tan theta. Okay, so in this question, tan theta was given to us to be equals to 30 degrees. Right, now remember that in this question we are looking for the equation of the straight line. So we can do that by using y is equals to mx plus c. Okay, so let's get our c. So our c is the point where the line cuts the y axis, and according to this question we are told that it is at the point 5. Okay, so that means our c is equals to 5, which is on the y intercept. Right, now we can get our gradient. Since we know that tan theta is equals to gradient and we are given an angle of 30 degrees, then we can get the value of tan. So tan 30 degrees, okay, tan 30 degrees is equals to 1 over root 3. Okay, so we just substitute that value into this equation, so that y is equals to 1 over root 3 x then plus 5. Okay, so now we can't leave this like this, so we simply multiply both sides by root 3. So if we do that, we'll be having root 3y to be equals to x plus 5 root 3. So this is the equation of the straight line. Okay, so let's return back to the board to pick the correct answer to this question, and that is option D. Root 3y is equals to x plus 5 root 3. Question 17. Find the value of P if the line joining P and 4 and 6 minus 2 is perpendicular to the line joining 2 and P and minus 1 and 3. Okay, so these are the points, okay, that form the line. Okay, so let's return back to the board to provide answer to this question. Now, remember that the condition for perpendicularity is that the gradient 1 times the second gradient must be equal to minus 1. Okay, so these are the points that actually form the lines. Okay, so this one is x1, this is y1, this is s2, and this is y2. The same thing, y2, s2, y1 and x1, right? So m1, which is the gradient, is equals to y2 minus y1 over s2 minus x1. So for the second gradient, it's the same thing, y2 minus y1 over s2 minus x1. So let's substitute our values and see. So our y here is minus 2, okay? Then minus 4 over our s here is 6, then minus p. So that at the end of the day, we'll have minus 6 all over 6 minus p. Okay, so we do the same thing for the second gradient, for the second line to get the gradient. So our y2 is 3, then minus p for y1 over s2 is minus 1, then s1 is minus 2. Okay, so this will be 3 minus p over minus 3. So remember the condition for perpendicularity. So let's sum this up. So we're having minus 6 over 6 minus p times 3 minus p over minus 3. Okay, so let's multiply out. So if we multiply out, since we're multiplying straight, now take note, everything here is equals to minus 1. Okay, so if we multiply out, we'll be having minus 18, then minus 6 times minus p, that will give us plus 6p. Okay, over, then this multiply out, we'll be having minus 18, then this will give us plus 3p, right? Everything is equals to minus 1. Okay, so we cross multiply. So if we cross multiply, we'll be having minus 18 plus 6p is equals to 18, then minus 3p. Okay, so how do we get our minus 3p? Now remember that minus 1 times plus 3p is going to give us minus 3p, and minus 1 times minus 18 is going to give us 18. Okay, so we can collect like 10. So I'm going to move the p to this side and move the minus 18 to the other side. So that will be having 6p plus 3p to be equals to 18 plus 18. Now remember, when the minus sign crosses the equal to sign, it's going to change to plus. So that is why we have plus 18 here. So if we add these two together, we're having 9p to be equals to 36. Now, since we are looking for p, we'll simply divide both sides by the coefficient of p, which is 9. Okay, so that p is equals to 36 divided by 9, and this will be equals to 4. Okay, so therefore we can say the value of 4, the value of p is equals to 4. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Right, so from our calculation, we got the value of p to be equals to 4. That makes option A the correct answer to this question. Question 18. Find the number of sides of a regular polygon whose interior angle is twice the exterior angle. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So in this case, we can say let the exterior angle be y. Okay, so if the exterior angle is equals to y, then the interior angle will be equals to 2y, because the question said twice the interior angle. Okay, but remember that the sum of interior angle and exterior angle of a polygon is equals to 180 degree, so that y plus 2y is equals to 180 degrees. So if we add these two together, we're having 3y to be equals to 180 degree. Now, since we are looking for y, we divide both sides by the coefficient of y, which is 3. 180 degree divided by 3, that equals to 60 degrees. Okay, now that we've gotten the value of 60 degrees, but remember that this y here stands for the exterior angle, so we already know the value of the exterior angle to be equals to 60 degrees. But remember that the sum of angles of an exterior angles of a polygon is equals to 360, right? So if I want to get the number of sides and I know any of the angles, I will just divide that 360 by the value of that angle. So in this case, we have 60 degrees. So that the number of sides will now be equals to 360 degrees divided by 60 degrees. Okay, so at the end of the day, we'll be having the number of sides to be equals to 6. Okay, so let's return back to the board to pick the correct answer to this. Let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question, and that is option A. Okay, so the number of sides of the regular polygon is equals to 6. Question 19. P with the coordinates -6 and 1 and Q with the coordinates 6 and 6 are the two ends of the diameter of a given circle. Calculate the radius. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So let's quickly sketch the circle and the diameters, and the point of the diameters are P here, and the coordinates are -6 and 1, and on the other side is 6 and 6 for Q. Okay, so in this question we are asked to calculate the radius of this circle, but we don't know the distance between P and Q. So before we can calculate the radius of this circle, we'll first of all calculate for the distance between points P and Q. Okay, and to do that, let's say this will be equals to root. Okay, this will be equals to x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, so this is the formula for calculating the distance between 2 points. So let's just substitute our values. So remember, this is x1, this is x2, this is y2, and this is y1. Okay, so let's put in our values. I'll be having 6. Okay, then minus is going to give us plus, so you'll be having plus 6 all squared, then plus for y we are having 6, then -1 all squared. Okay, so here I'll be having, of course, 6 plus 6 is 12, and 12 raised to power 2 is 114, then plus 6 minus 5, 6 minus 1 is 5, and 5 raised to power 2 is 25. So if we sum this up together, we'll be having 169. Okay, so PQ is equals to the square root of 169, and the square root of 169 is equals to 13. Okay, is equals to 13 units. So the distance, okay, between point P and Q is equals to 13 units. But then in this question we are asked to calculate for the radius. Now remember that one diameter is equals to 2 radius. So if we are looking for radius when we are given diameter, we simply divide by 2. So we divide this 13 by 2, and that will be equals to 6.5 units. Okay, so the radius of the circle is equals to 6.5 units. So let's return back to the board to pick the correct answer to this question, and that is option A, 6.5 units. Do you have any question? If yes, you can click on the link in the description below, and that will take you to my school website. There you can ask all your questions, and our team of solution providers will provide solution to all your questions within a short period of time. Moving on to question 20. The bearings of P and Q from a common point N are 0, 20 degrees and 300 degrees respectively. If P and Q are also equidistant from N, find the bearing of P from Q. So let's move to the board to solve this question. So this is a question on bearing, and it is important for us to sketch the diagram for the question. Okay, so this is the common point N, and we are, so from here we have 20 degrees. Okay, so F is our cardinal point. Let's call here P, right? So here we put our 0, 20 degree. Then from this same common point again, there's another point Q that moved 300 degrees. Okay, so here let's put our 300 degrees. So here we have our Q, right? And the whole measurement here is equal to 300 degrees. So we can join this, carefully join this to this point. Okay, now from here to here is 300 degrees. So that means this particular place is because from here, from the north to this particular place is 270. So from this point to here will be 30 degrees, right? Now remember that this place that is left is equals to 60 degrees. Remember that the whole of here like this equals to 90 degrees, right? But remember that when solving bearing, you always use the idea of alternate angles, okay, Z angle. So if here is 30 degrees, that means here is also 30 degrees. Okay, and if here is a 60 degree, here is also 60 degree, based on the fact that these two places are alternate angles. And remember that alternate angles are equal. So we need to calculate for this small point, which you don't know. Let's call it S. But remember that we are told that these 2 points are equidistant from the common point N. So here and here are equal, right? And this suggests a isosceles triangle. So what the angle that we have here is also equal to the angle that we have here, because they are the base of the isosceles triangle, and base angles of isosceles triangle are equal. So here we still have 30 degrees, okay, plus x. So basically we are looking for the value of x, right? But remember that the sum of angles in a triangle is equals to 180. That, remember that the whole thing we have here, the whole angle here is equals to 80 degrees. So that 30 plus x plus 30 plus s then plus 80 is equals to 180 degrees, right? So if we add this and add this, that will be equals to 140 degrees plus 2x is equals to 180, right? Then we'll collect like 10, so that 2s is equals to 180 minus 140, and that will be equals to 2s is equals to 40 degrees, so that s is equals to 20 degrees. Okay, so that means this part here is equals to 20, right? So if we add everything, that means this whole angle here is equals to 50 degrees, and the whole angle here also is equals to 50 degrees. Okay, but in this question we are asked to calculate the bearing, we are asked to find the bearing of P from Q. Okay, we are asked to find the bearing of P from Q. So this is our Q, and this is the bearing of Q that we are looking for. So for us to calculate the bearing of P from Q, we have to measure from this point until our measurement touches this line that connects P and Q. But remember that from here to here is equals to 90 degrees, and we've already cut out 20 from inside. That means what is left is 70 degrees. Okay, so what that means is that the bearing of P from Q is equals to 0.7 degrees, since we are using 3-digit bearing. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so from our calculation, the bearing of P from Q is equals to 0.70 degree, which make option B the correct answer to this question. Do you have better step or solution to any of these questions? You can share this information with us by going to the comment section below to comment the question number and the solution you wish to share. Question 21. A cylindrical tank has a capacity of 3080 meter cube. What is the depth of the tank if the diameter of each base is 14 meter? Take pi to be equal to 22/7. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So capacity here, basically they are talking about the volume of the cylindrical tank. Okay, and the volume, the formula for calculating the volume of a cylindrical tank is equals to the base area times height. Okay, and the base of a cylinder is simply circle. Okay, so volume is equals to pi r square then times the height. So the height actually represents the depth that they are talking about in the question. Okay, so the volume has been given to us to be equals to 3080 meter cube, right? And we are asked to take pi to be equals to 22/7 then times the radius. Now remember that diameter is equals to 2 radius. So since we need radius, we just divide this 14 by 2. That equals to 7, right? So here we'll be having 7 times 7, since our radius here is squared, then times the height, which is the depth, okay, that we are looking for. So this we cancel out this, so that we'll be having 3080 to be equals to 22 times 7, I think that is 154 times h, which is 154 h, right? So if we make h the subject of formula, we're having 3080 divided by 154, and that will be equals to 20 meters. Okay, so the depth of the tank is equals to 20 meters. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question, and that is option C, 20 meters. Question 22. Find the locus of a point which moves such that its distance from the line y is equals to 4 is a constant k. Okay, so first of all, the word locus simply means location, or where something is located. Okay, so let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. If we are to draw our Cartesian plane Okay, so the line y is equals to 4 is actually an horizontal line. Okay, and the distance of any point from that line, okay, is given by d is equals to the absolute value of y minus 4. And according to this question, we are told that this line is equals to a constant, okay? So that we are now having y minus 4, the absolute value of y minus 4 is equals to a constant. So to solve this, we have to solve it in two cases. One of them is when y will be, when k will be equals to, when k will be positive, and the other one is when k will be negative, okay? So if we do that, we're having y minus 4 to be equals to k. So here we can find the value of y. Okay, so we simply move the minus 4 to the other side so that y is equals to k plus 4, right? Then the other case is when y minus 4 is equals to minus k. Okay, so we do the same thing. We move minus 4 to the other side so that we're having y is equals to minus k plus 4. Of course, we can rewrite this. So if we rewrite this, we'll be having, y to be equals to 4 minus k. Okay, of course, we can as well still rearrange it. So if we rearrange this, nothing changes. So we'll be having 4 plus k. Okay, so if we combine these two values of y, okay, we'll be having y to be equals to 4 plus or minus k. Okay, so let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so from our calculation, we got the value of k to be equals to 4 plus or minus k. Okay, and that agrees with option A. Y is equals to 4 plus or minus k. Question 23. The chord ST of a circle is equal to the radius R of the circle. Find the length of arc ST. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So let's just sketch the circle. So let's say this is the circle and this is the chord ST. Okay, so let's say this is the middle of the circle and these are the two radius. So yes, arrow, yes, arrow. But remember in the question we are told that the chord ST of a circle is equal to the radius R. So that means here is also R. So that means this is typically an equilateral triangle. And remember that all the angles of an equilateral triangle are equal. So that means here is 60 degrees, here is also 60 degrees, here is 60 degrees. So we can calculate for the length of the arc ST. So this is the length of the arc ST, right? So length of arc ST is given as theta over 360 times 2 pi r, right? So we can now substitute. So here we'll be having 60 degrees all over, 60 degrees here is all over 360, then times 2 pi r, okay, times 2 pi r. So here we have 1, here will be equals to 6. So 1 here, 3 here, 2 here will be equals to 3, and 2 here will be equals to 1, right? So that at the end of the day, we'll be having pi arrow all over 3, okay? So the length of the arc ST is equals to pi arrow all over 3. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. So A, we have pi arrow over 6, and that's not what we got. B, we got, B is pi arrow over 2, C is pi arrow over 12, and D is pi arrow over 3. So D is the correct answer to this question. Question 24. If the gradient of the curve y is equals to 2kx squared plus s plus 1 at s equals to 1, it's 9. Find k. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. So the word gradient of the curve, okay, the word gradient is still the same thing as say the y dx, okay? So the y dx of this expression here will be equals to 4kx then plus 1, okay? Because when you differentiate a constant, it's equals to 0, right? But we are told that at that point, s is equals to 1 and that this gradient is equals to 9, okay? So let's substitute 1 here. So if we put 1 here in place of x, we'll be having 4k plus 1 to be equals to 9, right? So we'll move 1 to the other side so that we'll be having 4k to be equals to 9 minus 1, which is 8, right? Since we are looking for k, we divide both sides by the coefficient of k, which is 4. So that here we'll be having k, so that k will be equals to 8 divided by 4, and that will be equals to 2. So the value of k is equals to 2. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer, and that is option C, 2. Question 25. Evaluate the integral of 2 bracket open 2s minus 3 in bracket raised to power 2 over 3 dx. So let's move to the board to provide answer to this question. For those of you in commercials that probably do not have the privilege to learn about integration, you can as well click on the link in the description below, and that will take you to my school website. There you have to subscribe to our mathematics topic by topics video to really learn about integration properly. Okay, so let's solve this question. So we are asked to integrate this, right? So first of all, we have to say let u be equals to 2x minus 3. Okay, so that at the end of the day we are now having x, so we are now having the integral of 2u raised to power 2 over 3 dx. Okay, we differentiate u with respect to x so that we can get the value of the s, right? Now here we are having u and we are having s, so they are not uniform. So we have to look for a way to get the value of the s that will make it uniform with u. Okay, so in order to do that, we have to differentiate u. So we differentiate u with respect to x, so that if we differentiate this, we'll be having 2x, right? Now, since we are looking for the x, so we simply make the s the subject of formula by switching the position of the x and 2, so that the s is equals to du over 2, right? So anywhere we see the s in the question that is given to us, we replace it with du over 2, right? So this is equals to 2u raised to power 2 over 3, then times du all over 2. So these 2, we cancel these 2 out. So if we integrate, we'll be having, now to integrate, we just add 1 to here. Then what we have, we use it to divide, we used to divide the term, right? So that we'll be having, if we integrate this, we'll be having u raised to power 2 over 3 plus 1, then over 2 over 3 plus 1, okay? Du, right? And this will be equals to, this will be equals to 5 over 3. Okay, if we sum up this fraction, we'll be having 5 over 3 u all over 5 over 3. Okay, so this 3 can move upward, so that we'll be having 3 3u raised to power 3 over 5, then our base still remains 5, then plus our constant c, plus our constant k. Okay, so but remember that our u is equals to 2s minus 3. So in place of u, we replace it with 2s minus 3. So that our final answer become 3 bracket open 2x minus 3 raised to power 5 over 3 all over 5 plus k, our constant. Okay, so the integral of this is equals to this. So let's return back to the screen to pick the correct answer to this question. Okay, so from our calculation, the option that agrees with our calculation is option A. Okay, 3 over 5, then 2x minus 3 in bracket raised to power 5 over 3 plus k. I believe you enjoyed this video content. If yes, please do not forget to hit the like button, click on the subscribe button, and lastly, tap on the notification bell to get informed as soon as we upload the next videos.